Dear audiences, welcome to our Gerard Retreat House, Real Life Stories Radio. We are honored to give you our sincere greetings in the love of Jesus Christ as well as Mother of Perpetual Help. May the love and peace of the Holy Trinity be with you and with your family. This program will be guided by Father John Quinluan Gok, a Redemptorist in Hanoi and the members of Gerard Retreat House. This radio is broadcasted with the purpose of sharing our experiences, discoveries, confirmation about problems relating to mental and spiritual illness, vocational discernment, religious and married life and the ways that God has been leading us. New stories will be updated continuously on radio and website svconggio.net at 9 p.m. on Sundays. We hope that it can bring you into new perspectives, new hope, new directions and new saving roads about human mysteries, illness, sorrows, and healing. Highlighting that these stories can be really useful for those people who are suffering from similar problems as per other people have already experienced and been healed. Dear audiences, life is a precious gift that God has given to each person, but for some reason, there are some people committing suicide in many different ways. That's why today, we'd like to invite you to listen to the story of Mary Lynn, who attempted to kill herself 4 times, from the coastal Vintao with the title, The Devil's Voice or Human Voice. Through the reading voice of Lisa.
Once a human, we all wish for a long life. But my own is the opposite. I figured away from it, and wanted to end this life early. I haven't reached adulthood yet, I already attempted to quit this life for 4 times. But for a helper in the 4th suicide, it would have been successful, and I would have ended my existence. For the first time, I used a knife to cut off the tendons on my wrist, and sat looking at the blood droplets without fear. I want to die and just yearn to die for revenge. But fate saved me. The next time I went strangled. But death still hasn't come to me. For the 3rd time, I jumped into the water with the desire to fulfill the order that was driving me. But my time has not come yet. I'm still alive. For the 4th time, I swallowed 300 sleeping pills to stay asleep forever. But I still haven't died yet. Why is a young girl like me coming to such a grim death? Who has caused and forced me to end my youth? It is an order, get lost. Your life is useless. Has echoed in my mind and controlled me, causing me to find death. My 4th death attempt failed. My mom was scared. Then, my mother was introduced, by a friend in the parish to Father John of Hanoi Redemptories. She thought that I was possessed by a demon, and needed the help of the priest, who healed one person in my parish. Father agreed with my mother to help me, and then allowed me to live in the Gerard Retreat House. Every day, Father gave me several assignments that have something to do with myself. After several weeks of continuous writing about my fear, anxiety, sadness and pain in life, I met the priest again, and told to him about my situation. I want to die. I don't want to live anymore. I also thanked him for trying to help me in this time. Father smiled and asked me, "Why do you want to die?" And then I replied, "Their voice that keeps echoing in my mind that I couldn't sleep." Father asked me, "What has the voice told you?" I replied, "Get lost. Your life is useless." It is the voice of the devil that has driven me to commit suicide several times before. This time, this urging sound is stronger and strangling me from sleep. Father asked me for my mom's telephone number. After a long conversation, Father told me, "I have found the voice of the devil." Then I was stunned, and asked, "Are you sure, Father?" He said, "It wasn't the devil's voice, but your father's." Then he explained to me what was happened when I was almost 15 months old. One day, my mother came home from work. She didn't see my father, but only saw me crying. My mom carried me to go to find Dad. She was searching him everywhere, but couldn't find him. When we returned home, she asked the neighbor to look after me and then continued to find my dad. After all the effort of searching, Mom found out where Dad is just playing gamble with his friends. She got really angry and pulled him out of the gamble, leaving everyone surrounding surprised. She dragged him home and found me crying in the hands of our neighbor. Then my father suddenly went nuts. He hit my mom and yelled at her saying, "Get lost. Your life is useless." After listening to it, it strangely awakened mind. I returned to my room the next day and slept soundly. The next few days, the voice suddenly disappeared. I can now sleep a lot and the joy comes back in my life. I continued my scheduled therapies with Father John for my full recovery. After a few days, I couldn't sleep again, so I ran to see the priest. "Father, I slept well in the past few days, but since yesterday, I couldn't sleep again. Why is this happening again?" Then he asked, "Why can't you sleep?" I replied, "Whenever I close my eyes, I see blood everywhere. It feels terrible, so I couldn't sleep." He explained, "I believe that was the blood from an incident involving your parents at that incident. That blood is because your father took a stone and banged it directly on your mother's head as he pulled her hair away from the street, while yelling, 'Get lost, you suck.' Immediately a stream of blood erupted in your mother's wicked face." Hearing that, my head lit up again. The blood flowed out of my mind. I fell asleep again. I thought everything was fine. I continued to make the assignment. About a week later, I fell into a state of panic. I told with Father, I couldn't sleep again. Every time I close my eyes, I see a woman with short hair, lying under the toilet bowl to glare at me. I was so terrified, my eyes closed tightly and the woman's eyes kept staring at me. Then Father asked me, "Was there any woman from your village who has short hair and affair with your dad?" After he said that, I felt like I was hit by a thought. My dad's mistress flashed to my mind, and I can't be wrong, she had a short hair. Father explained to me about the corridor cesspool, when my dad put me in a place where the woman tried to flirt my dad. Knowing that, my mind lit up again. The image of this woman disappeared, and I slept well again as before. From that time, I was cured. There was no command to control me, no more blood gushing out of my mind. I could no longer see the woman glaring at me. I began to live a more beautiful and meaningful life. Noting down this unforgettable story of my life, it still left me in awe yet amazed at the same time. There is a question still running in my mind that, why does childhood memory have the ability to destroy and control me even until now? Nobody knows why. If I did not undergo this healing retreat, I would certainly be haunted by devil, and ending my life sooner or later. Perhaps the devil also laughs at me for being blamed as the root of my suffering. It is true that the devil is a dangerous enemy, specializing in harming people, but there is another equally dangerous enemy, that is the violent acts and outrageous words of adults that have sown into young minds, which results in terrible pain for children that they themselves are unaware of. Perhaps, feeling the danger of those, Jesus loudly rebuked and reprimanded that those who make excuses for one of these little ones fall into sins. They would rather have been thrown into the sea with a huge rock on the neck.
Thank you for listening to the Radio Gerard Retreat House, Real Life Stories. We wish this hearty sharing will be useful for you. And it's possible that someone in the same situation will also have a chance for being healed. Dear friends, If you feel this story gives you something interesting or useful, please click the register button to update the next broadcast. If there is any suggestion or comment for our program, please send us via email, nhatinhtigirado@gmail.com. Wish you all a new week full of joy and peace of Jesus Christ. Thank you so much and see you again on the next program.